Hello, welcome to this very random impromptu video. I thought I'd make this. I recently rearranged some of my Blu-ray collection, at least the part of my collection I have here in Norway, and I thought I'd show it to you, how I've arranged it, look at the massive cinema collection and all that kind of thing. So yeah, before I get into it, I've been kind of inspired to do this by Joel, Jolly Studio One. He recently did a load of vlogs about him moving into a new place and kind of arranging his collection. It's been something of an odyssey over on his channel. I'll put a link to his in the description of this one if you haven't seen him. Go check out his videos, very good YouTuber. And I was kind of like, oh, I wish I could kind of arrange my collection nicely. I mean, up until about a week ago, my collection has been kind of spilling over the shelves and kind of just like piling up like on top of the Wii U and then down the side of this shelf and on that side. And I thought, is there anywhere I can kind of move some stuff over to and kind of make everything a bit neater? And I have. So there's a section downstairs now. I'll show you that at the end. But I now have two shelves up here. Well, I've always had two. Well, not really. I mean, when I first moved here, I had one shelf to put my Blu-rays on, and I mean, it seems like not long ago, but it really was quite a while ago, and I only had a handful of Blu-rays, and it's grown so much over the past few years. But I had one shelf and then two shelves. So now it's kind of moved to kind of three, and you'll see what I mean with the third bit, which is downstairs. But let's take a look at the collection as it stands now. The lighting is probably not going to be great. As you can see, it's a beautiful day outside with some well, there you go, some beautiful bird shit on the window. But but yeah, the light doesn't quite translate inside, unfortunately. But that's there we go. Right, this is the first shelf. Let's like a good shot of this. So that's the first half of the Masters of Cinema collection. We start at the end with the Alfred Hitchcock box, which, you know, it's a box set full of classic films, so of course it fits next to the Masters of Cinema collection. And it also obviously helps keep the Blu-rays on the shelf, because I don't have any bookends or anything. So we start from number one at Sunrise, and we go all the way across to all the editions that I have. And it stops at 68. And because there are three versions of Metropolis, the two steelbooks and the regular release, I think there are 69 Blu-rays on this shelf, because I have, I think, two missing from this in terms of the spine numbers. So it ends at spine 68, and then here I just have loads of stuff that kind of keep it nice and square, and also just to stack something. It doesn't look perfect, but you know, it just is what it is. Let me try and get a better look here. So we have the Battles Without Honor Humanity set, a couple of random Blu-rays there, Arrow titles, Pink Floyd, some films that aren't brilliant but I like, and Batman stuff, and then some DVDs, including my Star Wars DVDs down there. And that's kind of the first shelf. And then we move over here where we have a couple of Blu-rays. We have the Pacific Rim Kaiju set. We have Buster Keaton's The Navigator. And then over to the second shelf, which I'm really, really happy with. I think this looks really nice. Let's take this down. So we have the continuation of the Master Cinema collection. We have the only DVD I have from the collection, which is the Buster Keaton Complete Shorts collection, which keeps everything in place. We start with 69, continuing on from 68. And we go all the way along to the latest, which is spine number 136 and 137. So that's my most recent title. And yeah, so there we go. Lots and lots of great films, most of which I haven't seen. Well, quite a few. I've seen quite a few actually. I've seen this one, 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 this one. Yeah, so I've seen a few of them. And that's a whole other thing for me to get onto, is watching all of these films. At the end of the Eureka collection, we have a couple of Arrow titles, Runaway Train, Buckaroo Banzai, Waking Life, which is a new title that just came out. Was really excited for this, and I can't wait to check it out once I have the time. And then just some general films I quite like, you know, that deserve being on the shelf, I suppose, like Blade Runner, you know, classic. Gravity, Grand Budapest Hotel. Then we have my mini Michael Keaton Blu-ray collection. This is a real cheap double pack that has One Good Cop, his directorial debut, and so far the only film he's directed, The Merry Gentleman, which is a great film. And then of course Birdman. and one day I hope to have a nice complete collection of all of his films. A couple of steelbooks. Last Action Hero. This is a great steelbook, inside out. Star Wars stuff, Mel Brooks box set, and then just loads of like thick box set editions at the end to kind of hold everything together. But also looks quite nice. I wish that the I think it's one of these is not quite square, and so they don't line up as nicely as, like, you probably can't even tell. Like, that's how much these little tiny OCD things bother me. Of course, we have Twilight here at the end so that I can always see it. My favourite film series of all time. You might have spotted, and if you haven't, I'm going to just point it out to you anyway, that I have two versions of A Touch of Zen. This is my nice pristine slipcover version that Eureka sent to me. They sent me a replacement slipcover, which is fantastic of them, and this is the old slipcover in just an empty case. So I just used it to put here because this shelf is next to our cat tree. This is Lily's spot, where she just sits and looks out over the neighborhood and kind of lords over her kingdom. But she will jump up on here unless I've got something there. So this is just like I love the cover, so obviously it's nice to display. I would like to have a clean look at the shelf, but at the same time I need to kind of protect the Blu-rays from Lily damage. I guess we might as well just do the complete thing. Down here below the TV we have just some random steelbooks. I need to sort this spot out because I've taken some things out and put them downstairs, but just some general steelbooks really. Some of the Marvel ones: Thor, Thor 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, Ant-Man, The Burbs, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is one of my favourite editions I own in my entire collection. Filth is probably one of the best steelbooks I own. I just love the design and how everything is embossed. It's just a really nice steelbook. So yeah, that's that. Let's go downstairs. Alright, so I'm now downstairs. I haven't done the white balance, so the video looks really weird, but it doesn't really matter. This is a quick video. Well, quick by my standards. Quick by my standards. And here is the next part of the collection. In this kind of cabinet we have some Tarantulas up here. We have one there and two there. They're not mine, but I guess we have them. And down here, we have the rest of the collection. And actually, the blue hue is bothering me, so I might do a white balance and then come back on. Whew, Jesus, look at the difference on that. Man, there's a lot to be said about white balancing. Right, here we go. This is what I'm going to call, well, let me just tell you. I said that part of my inspiration for kind of, getting some of my collection in order and putting it on display a little bit more was from Joel Jolly Studio One, but also Ian Forkerball. He has a part of his collection that he calls the Culture Shelf, which he kind of attributes to me, and that's a whole other story. But I thought just in a mild tribute to Ian, we have my culture section. I'm going to call it the culture section because it is mainly great classic films. I have my silent film collection here on Blu-ray. I don't really collect silent films on DVD. I should, but I'm spoilt by the glorious high definition of silent films I kind of started my silent film journey on, so I kind of only go for Blu-rays. Anyway, I have a lot of silent films in the Masters of Cinema collection, but I don't keep them here because I like to keep the Masters of Cinema collection in order, together, and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm an OCD collector like that. But I did, out of interest, put my Masters of Cinema silent films on this shelf to see how many silent films I had on Blu-ray in total. I'll put a picture of that up now. As you can see, it almost fills the entire shelf. I think I have 45 plus, something like that. So yeah, lots of silent films on Blu-ray, which is a great thing for me. So yeah, this kind of takes you through a little bit of film history and then beyond. So I'll just guide you through my thought process here. We have the silent films at the beginning. We start with the Lumiere brothers, the first ever film in 1895. So we literally go from 1895 all the way up to 2015. So that's pretty cool. That's like 120 years of film history on one shelf. We have Trip to the Moon. So we've got really early stuff like pre-1920 here. And then we move over to the actual 20s themselves. Buster Keaton Blu-rays, my pride and joy. All BFI titles I have in chronological order of their release, so like 24, 25, 26 I think. up to the end of the 20s, and then a couple of Frank Borzage films here. I mean, I could go into these in detail, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. And then we move over to the 30s, you know, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Wizard of Oz. The 40s, Treasure of Sierra Madre. 50s, Limelight, Tokyo Story, Seven Samurai. The 60s, West Side Story, Cool Hand Luke, Planet of the Apes. The 70s, The Sting. 80s, with my John Carpenter collection, we've got Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, They Live. Move over to the 80s, with well, we're still on the 80s, what am I talking about? Spaceballs, which is just one of the best comedies of all time in my opinion. Then we got some 90s stuff. You've Got Mail, Goodfellas. It really bugs me that they're out of chronological order. How silly is that? And then we go to the 2000s. Actually no, we skip the 2000s altogether, go to the 2010s with Hugo, the Plain Archive release of Blue is the Warmest Color, Interstellar, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. When I showed Ian a picture of this, he was like, Star Wars with all those films? Well yeah, it's one of my favourite films. So a nice journey there from the beginning of film with the Lumiere brothers in 1895 all the way over to The Force Awakens. And then finally we have my Studio Ghibli collection, or mainly just my Hayao Miyazaki collection. We have the Castle of Cagliostro. Actually, I'm not going to go through them all, but we have every single film directed by Hayao Miyazaki, including Grave of the Fireflies by Takahata. And I put that next to My Neighbor Totoro because they both came out at the same time. It's kind of a double release, so I thought it'd be good to put those together. And I have doubles of a couple of them because I got the Steelbook of Kiki's Delivery Service. So yeah, I put them at the end just because I thought it would sit better as its own collection. And that's about it. I'm kind of now wondering why I even made this video, but there you go. I've got more silent films coming on Blu-ray. My birthday coming up, so that's all my requests going in for stuff like that. So some of these will be taken out to put more of the silent Blu-rays in. And yeah, this isn't really like a definitive, like what I think are the best films of all time by any stretch, because, you know, there are a lot up on the other two shelves that I think are worthy of being called some of the best films I've ever seen. And, you know, I have other editions back home, so this is by no way definitive, but it's just a nice little kind of classic film collection in a way. You kind of veer away from calling films classics once you get to like this area, but still, I think that Interstellar, Hugo, Blue is the Warmest Color, The Force Awakens, I think they are future classics, you know, for science fiction, for drama, and for, you know, adventure. I mean, just, yeah, anyway. I'm going to stop babbling now, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and this quick look at how my Blu-rays are looking right now. I say quick look, this probably went for over 15 minutes or something ridiculous like that without me even realizing it. So I hope you enjoyed this quick look at my Blu-ray collection. Lots more videos to come, though to be honest they're probably mostly going to be about Star Wars or the Epic Film Challenge too. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
So you might say he's a really nice guy, really, but if fucking don't cut shit with me. He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool.